Okay, we're going to cover how to back up and restore projects for Dimensions RM. We start off by looking at the Oracle server. In this case, I'm actually running on a machine where RM and Oracle server are one and the same. But for the beginning piece here, to use the data pump backup, the files are only backed up on the server, not on a client machine or on the RM server. So in my case, I'm using a Windows Oracle server. And by default, the location of the database tablespace files where we will put those until you supply something new. That's not a good place to put them, so we want to change that. And we're going to go back up to the Oracle level, and here we just want to create a new directory. So we'll create a data pump directory, and again, on the server it makes it a little bit easier if you go ahead and share out that directory, whether you're using Oracle on a Unix system, Solaris, or Windows. It would be a great idea to share that directory and put it in the system. That way you can see the files that are actually out there, and you could add everyone with read permissions is probably the best way to do that. And that way, so that on your RM server, you can actually see the file names that are created and read the logs. Makes it a little bit easier to get to as you go through the system after sharing the server. So we've created our data pump directory. We're going to need that path to actually do the backup. Next, we'll go into Dimensions RM, and we'll take the backup, restore project account. We're not using legacy. That'll put us into the data pump environment where are the files stored on the server, not on the RM machine, but on the server. And we'll put the path in there. And again, if this were a Unix machine, you would use a Unix style path. Remember the slashes at the end as well as the beginning in the case of Unix. The system generates a name for you. If you want to give it a different name, welcome to do so, but it's a date and time stamp. We definitely do want to include security data as we go through this, and it will go off and run through the backup for us. And the file's been created along with the log in our data pump directory. Now we're going to cover the project restore. So now that we have a good backup complete, we're going to go back into RM the same way. Backup restore project account. We need to provide the correct file name for what we want to restore. And we've got the data pump directory up there that's complete. In this case, I want to include security. And we'll go ahead and restore, and it's going to give you a warning. Are you really sure you want to destroy this project? Once you click yes, there is no recovery. It will be gone. You'll need to restore, from backup at that point. And we're walking through here. You can see it's destroying the information that's currently over in the database, cleaning everything out, getting ready to accomplish the restore. Once it has everything dropped, it needs to know some information from the previous data pump backup, which if you're using Dimensions RM with the defaults, it's the project name is going to be the user and the tablespace name. And this is the Oracle user account and the Oracle tablespace name. If your DBAs have helped you out and giving you different names to use, then you'll have to make sure that you have those when you do the backups. And then the system will go now, pull the dump file, and actually start the restore process, recovering the data from the backup we took just a moment ago. And after it's done with the backup, it'll do some general house cleaning and keeping a few things up there. And then finally it tells us that we had successful restore. It also tells us we had one error warning level where a procedure could not be compiled. This one we're expecting it'll happen the vast majority of the times. There are a couple circular relationships, so it requires a minimum of 2 complete compiles to get that done. But you can come down and see that as it goes through the bottom, that it's got through and checked and everything is good after it's done. So that's how to back up and restore projects in Dimensions RM.